You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, Marcy is still recovering from eye surgery, which has led her to make some sketchy choices. And those people on YouTube making all those pet videos, does that mean they have all those pets? You would expect this to be a week from hell because you just got eye surgery, right? So this should not... It's a week from hell that's not shocking, right?
The eye surgery is so beside the point.
Oh, man, it must be really bad. So what happened?
Yeah. Well, yesterday, instead of sitting in a chair like I'm supposed to and not doing anything, I had to drive my little cat, Sabrina, to Flagstaff. So since I was driving to Flagstaff, I said, sure, I'll meet a transport and pick up 3 pregnant cats and a giant tomcat.
And this is how you're staying in one place, resting and recovering for surgery? This is your idea of R&R?
It gets worse.
Okay.
So we needed to transfer all these cats into our carriers for the rescue that I work for.
Uh-huh.
And because I was only 1 day past eye surgery and probably still under anesthetic and a little bit loopy, I said to Eve, take them into the office and just move them like that, instead of taking them into a bathroom with like secure walls and a door. Well, one of the pregnant moms escaped into PetSmart.
That's the second time.
This one was pregnant. So it's even worse.
Second time times 6.
Yeah, pregnant and having contractions the night before. So I called
Hold up. As a non-cat owner, how does one know when a cat is... I mean, with women, you hear that, ah! But what do cats do?
Same.
Really?
Pretty much the same.
Do they curse the tomcat that got them pregnant?
You know what? If I was having 6, 7, or 8 kids, I sure would be.
I did it with 1.
Anyway, this is a black cat. So you can't see her underneath anything.
Okay.
And so I called in reinforcements. We looked for like 4 hours. And then I had somebody come and set traps all over inside the store to try and catch her with food. And as of today, there is still no pregnant mama cat.
Well, because food isn't going to interest her, because if she's anything like a human being giving birth, you don't feel like eating when you're giving. I mean, who in the middle of labor says, you know what I'd really like right now is a Caesar salad and a chocolate shake?
That's only the first disaster of my week. We get home and Eve says there's something wrong with Buddy. Buddy is the one-eyed 15-year-old guy that you met.
Yeah, he's a very nice
scraggly
guy. Yeah.
He's really sweet. Well, long story short, Buddy has pneumonia. So now we have a hospital ward in the bathroom. The problem with senior animals, I guess, but you don't expect them to get sick all at once.
Well, you don't expect them to live to be 15 years old either. So this is okay.
Well,
can I just say this about?
No, I had a cat that lived to be 24.
Yeah, everybody has some relative who lived to be 106 now, but it doesn't mean it's normal. So this is what I was talking about this with a girlfriend of mine. You know how when you're a little kid, you say to people who are like 30 years old, when you're a little kid, you go, you're old. You're so old. Well,
you says that to Frankie all the time.
You're so old. And so I wonder, now that I am much older than that, but certainly not aged by today's standards, if that's what I'm doing when I sat across a table from a girlfriend of mine and we talked about 2 elders who shall not be named, one who is 98 and one who's about 90. And we were talking about how they had taken pretty rotten care of themselves and now they were going to complain about the state of their health. Rotten care of themselves, not because they couldn't afford to see doctors, but because they didn't want to do anything that was prescribed or recommended or that is reasonable and healthy behavior. Let's just say that one of them smokes 2 packs of Camels a day. Let's just say that. That's a thing.
That's living.
That's a thing.
Living life if you're in your 90s.
That's right. Okay. But if you're sick now and you have, emphysema or something and you want to lie around and complain about your emphysema.
Yeah, that's probably a good reason to quit.
No. These are made up cigarettes, so they don't have to quit because I made that part up. I looked at my girlfriend and I said, is it wrong to say out loud, well, you got to die of something? Because it's completely not socially acceptable. But as you know, I tend to say things that are not socially acceptable. And so I'm listening to these various accounts of people who've thrown themselves in the soup pot and stirred really hard. And now they're complaining that someone's standing over them with a spoon and a salt shaker. And you want to say to them, you got to die of something. In a way, you chose this exit ramp. This is the exit ramp on the map of your life that you know what, I think I'll get off here at emphysema, right? Or, I think I'll get up here, over here at not moderating my salt, my cholesterol, or my weight. I think I'll get over
90s.
Here over heart attack. Right. But they're complaining.
If I make it to 90, I'm going to party like I'm a rock star.
Good. Well,
and I'm going to do every illegal, bad for you drug and drink absinthe and just do all kinds of crazy stuff because I really hope I don't live to be 90. It doesn't sound like fun, but I will make it fun.
This is my point. Exactly. If that's what they were doing, the whole conversation would not have occurred. We'd be like, holy smokes, look at these old people doing every crazy thing that they couldn't do.
First of all, go tell the 90-year-old smoker to go smoke crack.
Okay, I just used smoking as an example, and I wouldn't even know where to buy crack, and I live in a city that has, God knows, probably everything. I would
hold up a sign.
90-year-old wishes to smoke crack. Please assist. My point.
Snapchat.
I think you're still on way too much anesthesia. You're still missing my point. My point is not the 2 packs of Camels and emphysema. My point is it right for you to be whining at the age of 90 when you had 89 years of doing whatever you wanted in spite of all medical advice, and now you're 90 and you're miserable? Do you owe these people your sympathy? And do you have to pretend like you're shocked that this is happening to them? And oh my gosh, what can you possibly do to help them? Or can you reasonably and without being a completely horrible person say to them, look, you got to die of something. You picked this, so don't complain about it.
But my 2 cats didn't do anything to get sick.
They're really, really old, though. You got to die of something. You have got to die of something. The whole world cannot just go to sleep one night and wake up dead. It's not going to happen like that.
I seriously think I'm going to die of stupidity. That's going to be my... Stupidity is going to smother me in my sleep some night.
Well, I would say that getting out of your post-surgical bed and running around to take care of pregnant, contracting cats and running a nursery for a 15-year-old war veteran of a cat and God knows what else you did. You probably mucked out the goat yard. So as some elementary school teacher you had probably said to you, you're not stupid, you're just doing stupid things. Speaking of falling apart, I get to go take care of my girlfriend who's having her hip replaced. She had her hip replaced. And her adult children are also coming in, and they're really great kids. So then you start to worry whose kids are really stand-up young adults and
whose pieces of crap.
Yeah, she's got great children. I'm looking at my own kids now going, I wonder what you would do. I wonder.
I have nightmares of my kids my head on a ping pong ball, and they're playing like Foursquare with ping pong and just smacking me back and forth, and whoever loses is stuck with mom. Kind of a thing.
Do you remember what your parents used to say to you about whether they were going to depend on you? I mean, what did your parents say about getting old? What was their philosophy?
My parents always said, "Throw me in a home." They said, "Don't ever move me in with you." And I think that had more to do with me than them. No one wanted to live with me. Seriously.
But that was the prompt. The prompt was,
yes.
Put me in a home.
Yeah.
Huh.
Far away from you.
And your alternative lifestyle choices, your alternative
My
lifestyle
choices.
choices. And your unwillingness to take good care of antiques.
Exactly. Hey, my fish tank looks good on top of that butter churn. Gotta admit.
Speaking of your fish tank, I figured out why I thought your African frogs needed to take a breather on a little raft. It was the little turtles that I was thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yes, little turtles need to breathe. Little frogs, no.
Yeah,
They're getting bigger.
I looked it up, though. You know what's really scary about YouTube? You can look up anybody's weird thing on YouTube.
It's true.
Soon you're going to be able to look up our podcast on YouTube, which just proves my point. But if you do some of the math behind these YouTube videos of pets, it is cause for concern. I just randomly found the African frog lady. She said that she has a tank full of African frogs and she's got something like 3,000 videos up there. What if she feels compelled to have every single kind of pet about which she posts a video? Can you imagine her house worse than your house?
Yeah, worse. Totally worse.
Totally worse.
And, I have a child who does TikToks, posts everything on TikTok. As you know, I'm paranoid, so I don't post anything on
anything with a video. If I can't do it with a bag over my head, I am not doing it on TikTok. I have a friend who keeps saying, "Oh, just post. You know, my friend so and so has 1 million viewers." I'm like, that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah,
that would be the worst thing that could happen to me. Would be 1 million people watching me on TikTok. But I don't want people watching
be in a
me.
big black garbage bag with eye holes cut out.
That would be
like
me,
the
yes.
opposite of the ghost costume when you were a kid.
Yes.
The sheet.
Precisely. I would do the sheet, but that has like KKK implications, so I wouldn't do a sheet.
No. Yeah, you can't really do that costume anymore.
No, not allowed.
Except for the Charlie Brown one. I did send one of my kids out in a sheet on one Halloween with just holes cut all
over
around it, like Charlie Brown. Yeah.
Well, in your neighborhood, they'd be fine with the KKK costume too, for that matter.
Yeah, well,
horrible.
This was in Michigan.
Oh yeah, no. Well, you'd have to go farther north in Michigan to have them be. I'm going to insult absolutely every state in the union before this podcast is over.
Actually, this came up in my memories online. This is like our anniversary of a year.
No kidding.
Went fast.
Wow, it really did.
We've been doing this for a year.
Wow. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like if I were more on top of things, I would have known that. So at the same time that I'm thrilled, I'm also embarrassed.
I was thinking of 10 years, no, not 10 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, if you were a dude, I would have broken up with you by now. That's a long time for a
That's how you think. In my mind, I think I should get a cupcake and put it in a FedEx box and send it overnight. Nope, that's $40. I'm not doing that. Thanks for listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. If you'd like to do us a great favor, please leave us a good review wherever you hear this podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Turi Ryder's She Said What. And you might also enjoy my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air, which you can find any place you buy your books or on Amazon.